Chapter 1, The Last Stroke of Midnight. You startle awake from your nightmares of thundering boulders, a gleaming blade, and dire threats written in fire, heart galloping in your chest. Eclipse, what does it mean? Breathing deep, steadying breaths you take in the morning sun sifting through the vine-shrouded window, and smile at the feeling of your lover's lithe form pressed against your back. The night prince stirs, one strong arm winding across your chest to pull you more tightly against him, murmuring softly. Did you dream, my love? You languish in his strong grip, still so overwhelmed at the fact that he's yours. I did. But I must still be dreaming. You can feel his smile as he nuzzles into the back of your neck, lips brushing against your skin. If this is a dream, then I shall happily spend the rest of my life asleep. We seem to travel to each other's dreams less and less these days. His hand gently takes your chin, turning your face towards him to capture his lips in a soft, languid kiss. I no longer need to dream of taking you in my arms when reality is so much sweeter. Sighing contentedly, you start to pull free of his embrace, only to laugh as he yanks you back into bed. Kieran, I need to get dressed. I forbid it. There's a lot to do before the party this evening. Don't you want to celebrate restoring the palace? I would prefer to celebrate with you. There will be plenty of time for that. Besides, if we're going to convince more Fae to join the Moon Court, we must start with making real connections. And that means tonight needs to be perfect. I need to be perfect. He sighs and begrudgingly releases you, eyes following your every move as you go to the wardrobe and start to dress. He's so perfect it's almost inhuman, exactly inhuman. I suppose, how did I get so lucky? Something troubles you, beloved. You realize you've been absently stroking your throat where Kieran's charm used to sit snugly against your pulse, a constant reminder of his claim on you. The charm, sometimes I still forget it's gone. But Radiance destroyed it. I wish I hadn't let him do it. I should have known he wanted to hurt us both. I'm such a fool. Your pure heart is but one of many things I treasure in you, Ella. Do not blame yourself for trusting someone who claimed to care about you. His betrayal was his mistake, not yours. His reflection joins yours in the mirror. He slides his hands up your shoulders, and one hand drifts idly to the base of your throat. Do you miss it? I miss knowing I'm protected. An unsettling trace of concern darkens his features before his eyes, confident and fierce, return to yours in the mirror. Ah, but you are protected, my love. No Fae in the land would dare risk my wrath. With the curse broken, I am second in power only to Longclaw, and even then, only when she wears the crown. No harm will befall you again. I would die first. The intensity of his declaration should take you by surprise, but knowing he cannot lie still makes your heart skip a beat. I suppose preparing for this party has made me remember how vulnerable it feels to be surrounded by so many Fae when I've no magic of my own. He drops a kiss to your bare shoulder, the soft brush of his lips sending tingles down your arm. Well, if it would help to ease your nerves, what do you say to a new charm, just as powerful but not so plain as the last? Something befitting your beauty, status as my consort, bound by your choice alone. Accept his gift or a reminder of his devotion and protection wherever you go. Body chain. Show me what you planned, then. Gladly. His fingertips begin tracing patterns across your skin, trailing delicate silver lines that shimmer and glow like starlight. Oh. The snow-frosted scent of winter night envelops you. Despite the balmy summer morning, you shiver, ticklish and chilled. My love, whatever is the matter? He smirks knowingly in the mirror, his voice a warm purr in your ear. Your touch makes me want more. You nail sharply as Kieran's fingers continue their slow, elegant dance across your sensitive skin at your throat and chest. Even such a simple touch as this, perhaps I did not leave you quite as satisfied earlier as I should have. You enchant me as if by a spell. I never tire of you. You feel his smile against the nape of your neck as he presses a soft kiss there before his fingers replace his lips. You are most distracting, beloved. Let me finish my work. You do your best to hold still as Kieran circles you, connecting the silver lines, finishing the pattern by drawing a crescent in the center of your chest. Oh. His dark head dips to your skin, whispering a few words before placing a kiss above your heartbeat. Your skin tingles as, at the touch of his lips, the glowing lines become a fine chain, twinkling in the soft light. What do you think? He stands aside to let you admire his work, and you touch the delicate silver above your heart. I love it, but will it break? It's so thin, It will be as everlasting as my devotion. Shall I prove it to you? He smirks, gathers the chain in his fist, and yanks. The chain bites in your skin, making you yelp. Kieran! Whatever are chains for, if I cannot drag you about wherever I wish? There's a difference between yanking and doing other things with chains. Your heart races, as it always does when you play this risky game, the heady danger of your dog print sending an icy thrill through your veins. You needn't drag me wherever you go, I'll gladly follow. I know. Mischief flickers in his eyes, and he draws you in for a fierce kiss that leaves sharp teeth dragging against your bottom lip. Kieran's slanted grin only grows as he pulls away and leads you, step after willing step, across the room. You bite back a smile that threatens, not wanting to give him the satisfaction of it. I do enjoy imposing my will upon you, nearly as much as you enjoy bending to it. Chain in hand, he tugs you gently with him back to the edge of your bed. This chain has all the magic of your previous charm and more. You gasp as a sensation like a cool flame licks against your skin wherever the chain touches. His eyes gleam with triumph. I do so love the sounds you make. Perhaps I'll draw out more of them later. You are far too pleased with yourself. He tugs you into his lap in reply, pressing a searing kiss to your lips, telling you all you need to know. He pats your thigh and releases you. Now you have my permission to dress. But I look forward to seeing you later wearing nothing but this. Still a little breathless, you slip away, Kieran admiring you all the while. You proceed to dress, but pause before you leave the room. Thank you. Now I can carry your touch with me always. The cheeky parting bow to Kieran's cocky, satisfied smirk, you head downstairs, the cool slink of the chain against your skin visible for all to see. In the kitchen, you find Sylvia and Selma furiously preparing food for the party. You'd hoped to help them return home after you rescue them from the enchanted servitude under Radiance's rule, but either his cruel spell or their extended time among the Fae had frayed their memories of their past to nothing. Oh, Your Grace! Both women startle and drop at a hasty curtsies, leaving splotches of flowery handprints on their dresses. Good morning, my lady. Is something the matter? Nightmares again? Can you blame her? What sort of blade can cause a rock slide? Her Grace was nearly killed. I'm all right, I assure you. And please, just call me Ella. Seeing as it's my name, I couldn't possibly be offended by it. Oh, we couldn't possibly. It feels wrong to address you so informally. Nonsense. It wasn't long ago that I helped Longclaw prepare meals in this very kitchen. I hope you know that you don't have to stand on ceremony with me. This isn't Prince Radiance's court. Of course, we know that. Your Grace, you are the furthest thing from that cruel tyrant. You are the Night Princess Royal Consort. That deserves respect. Still, I am but a simple mortal from a tiny village, no different from either of you. The two women share a look, something between longing and hope. You'd reminded that though they only look your own age, Selma and Sylvia were bound to the Sun Court long before you were born. I know you feel that way. You are kind and humble, but you can't pretend you're a commoner anymore. You know how most Fae look down on humans. To them, we are little better than animals to live or die at their whim. Sylvia takes both of your hands in a fierce grip, her kind eyes suddenly hard as flint. You must heed me, Your Grace. It is wise to fear them still, but you cannot show the Fae an ounce of weakness for all of our sakes. You squeeze her hands, trying to give her a reassuring smile and ignore the slow, creeping anxiety in the pit of your stomach. I won't, I promise. On your way out of the kitchen, you spot a small swarm of dancing lights in the morning sunlight. Hello, little fiery friends. What have I told you about wandering near the curtains? I'm sure you were careful, but I need you to be ready for the party. The little faces fall for a moment when you hold up a jar. The Fae flames spark with frenetic energy. With a smile and a crackle, they fly into the jar, back to the chandelier with you. Thank you very much. You carry the jar into the ballroom where Kieran's bodyguard and your dear friend and confidant, Sir Montgomery, is humming cheerily to himself as he sweeps up fallen leaves and flower petals from the living vines arcing overhead. Good morrow, Farella. How fares my lady this glorious day? Just fine, thank you. Anything I can help you with? Oh no, even this old knight can still wield a broom and dustpan with aplomb. However, you may wish to move these to safer shores. Sir Montgomery gestures to the mess of books and papers you left on a nearby velvet couch and forgotten. Abashed, you hurry over to tidy them up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I may have gotten a little carried away with my research. The Sun Court libraries have sent over all the materials they could find about magic, or the weapon that could cleave off the side of a mountain. Ah, yes, that attack was quite troubling indeed, for all Fae kind, just when we believed peace had come. But the Moon Court boasts the fiercest royal guard in the realm. They'll surely apprehend the culprits anon. Sir Monty, there is no royal guard. You're confusing past and present again, Sir Monty. There hasn't been a royal guard in over a century. His snowy brows draw together troubled as he searches his memory. But I thought... Yes, of course, you're quite right. Although... He falters and shakes the doubts of his mind away and regains a smile. Even so, our Knight Prince is restored, and our Lady Longclaw wears the crown of all Fae. The old wrongs have been righted. All will be well. But there are tablecloths young Selma was looking for, unless your grace requests my assistance. You smile after the old knight as he leaves, but the nagging worry you haven't been able to shake all morning starts to buzz all the louder as you look to the pile of papers and tomes. The dream is starting to fade, but I still remember the feel of it. The rent mountains, that imposing length of steel. Who would want to go to the trouble or has the power to carve such a threat? There's still so much of the Fae lore I don't know. Throughout the story, you'll have a chance to learn more about the magical world of the Fae by collecting storybook pages. These tales will help you learn about the unique characters and creatures of this world and give you a glimpse of the creator story behind one of your living now. Collect them all to unlock a special bonus story at the end. Iron Sword. In the ancient days, long before the warring factions of magical Fae put aside their bloodied battles and laid down the laws of propriety, the humans, caught in the middle of their endless war, had little choice but to eke out a meager existence amidst the violence, powerless to stop vengeful Fae who neither noticed nor cared about the destruction they wreaked on mortal lands and lives. In these vicious times, there lived a simple human woman, who one day returned from foraging to find her farm burnt to charcoal, her livestock, children all slaughtered in the wake of some Fae skirmish. For 3 days the woman wept in the ashes of her home, surrounded by the bones of her children. On the 4th day she dried her tears, and for 3 days more she sifted through the wreckage to salvage each blackened horseshoe, nail, and cook pot until no scrap of iron remained. Each and every tool, each burnt remnant of her life, ravaged by the Fae bloodlust and callous disregard, but not destroyed. These she gathered until her hands were black with cinders. The final 3 days she spent in tireless labor, backbent over a raging forge of her grief, melting down each lump of iron into a mighty blade, quenched by her sweat and shaped by her hatred. On the 10th day, sword in hand, she put her back to the ruins of her life and set out to follow the trail of devastation the Fae left behind and bring that ruin back to them. Her name is lost even to the long memories of the Fae, as few would dare even speak of the mortal woman who became like wrath itself. Some say she was the true reason the Fae Courts were founded, because it was the only way to stop her. What happens when you hurt good people? Especially when you take everything away from someone. You collected the story of the mysterious weapon. You shake yourself from the melancholy reverie. Setting down the jar of Fae flames, you go to the lower chandelier. I may not be a servant anymore, but I can't simply be idle while others work around me. Soon, however, you realize the rope to the lower massive chandelier has been tied much higher than you can reach. Of course, Kieran had to use magic. He forgets his court is made of mortals now. You climb onto the arm of the couch, stretching as far as you can. Still, your fingertips only brush uselessly against the tail of the cord. You stretch higher, teetering precariously on the toes of one of the foot. Part of you knows how ridiculous you must look, but you can't seem to stop yourself. It's no use. Can I not even do the tiniest thing to manage my own home? You slip off one shoe, ready to simply fling it at the damned cord when... What's this? Has the chandelier insulted you, my love? It's the cord. Why did you move it out of my reach? Puzzled, Kieran makes an elegant gesture and the cord obediently unties itself, the chandelier floating as gently to the floor as a feather. It looks better this way. Besides, you'll soon have Fae servants to take care of all of this for you. Kieran, that's not the point. Adjusting to this life is hard enough without you actively putting things beyond my reach. I can't settle for being useless in my own home, sitting on my laurels while my friends rush to curtsy and clean around me. Ella. Is it hard? So hard to remember that I can't do everything you can? It's like you don't even care. The sudden pressure of his power steals the very breath from your lungs, snuffing out your anger like a candle before a hurricane. Is that what you think? That I do not care, that I can't? No, I'm sorry. A veil seems to fall from your eyes, and you shiver with animal fear as you face the cold, dangerous ruler of all Fae that once terrified and fascinated you so completely. I'm sorry, my prince. I'm sorry, my prince. The storm of his power lessens as he draws closer, becoming an almost gentle caress. When you dare to meet his eyes, you find them tinged with sorrow. And I'm sorry for scaring you. Please, beloved, tell me what troubles you so. His hands cup your cheeks. You lean into it to touch, feeling the echoes of his power thrumming beneath the skin. I know you didn't mean to, I don't think you realize how it feels to live in a world of magic when you have none. Tell me how it feels, then. Imagine if every doorknob in the palace was made of iron, and you could not even move from room to room without help, lest you burn yourself. I shall always be there to help you, Ella. I know, but you're still missing the... Why, thank you, my dear, but I can see myself to the ballroom just fine. I think I should know the way well enough by now. Is that... Longclaw. Setting frustrations aside, you rush off to greet your old friend, curtly, manners thrown to the wind as you crush her in a hug. Look at that. It's Princess or Queen Longclaw. Technically queen, she wears a crown now. Goodness, but this is a welcome change of pace. I'm still getting used to everyone bowing and curtsying to me all the time. It's too bad. It's been a long time since I bowed to anyone who truly deserved the honor. Was looking forward to it. You were glad Kieran helped her regain her rightful status as the Sun Queen after her brother Radiance's downfall, but it's hard to forget Longclaw and her old maid's frocks and bonnet. so you and you're bustling through the halls with her like old times.
Ella, my dear girl, how are you? Adjusting all right to the changes of your new life?
I'm doing my best. Being immortal in Fae means always feeling one step behind. I'm learning, but it's a process. So, what of you? How was life in the Sun Palace?
Bittersweet and a tad strange, but I'm glad to be home at last.
I hear the court is warming to your new methods of rule. Not that they have much choice in the matter.
The Fae do not take to change readily, but I do believe they're learning a bit of kindness and humility, slowly.
Longclaw clasped her great furry hands to her chest and smiling blissfully at the two of you.
My prince, it does my heart so good to see you happy at long last.
And mine, too, your highness. To see you restored to your rightful place, the crown certainly suits you far better than your predecessor.
Ella, everything looks so lovely, and my dear Monty, how is he?
Fighting fit as ever. Come, I'll show you how we've decorated for the party. Come evening, your courtyard is brimming with all the sumptuous finery only a Fae garden party can boast.
I do love what you've done with the gardens, Your Grace. Quite a wild sort of beauty.
Thank you. I rather like them this way. Fae laws of decorum may dictate courtesy in the strictest sense, but it doesn't help the cutting glances or occasional stifled laughter that follows as you mingle with your guests. This is the mortal servant, Kieran, elated consort. Love rather does make fools of us all, I suppose. Patience, Ella. We're here to make alliances, not more enemies. Steeling yourself, you turn to walk past the Fae with the very loud whisper. If love makes one a fool, then what is your excuse? Are you calling me a fool? Well, you, in a way, called Kieran a fool. What would you call someone who openly disrespected their host? Rather loudly, I might add. You continue on your rounds, the rude face spluttering indignantly as her friends giggle behind her hands. Not the most diplomatic, but at least they know I have a spine. And also, they were put in their place. You know, Kieran has a similar distaste for these events, but as you spot him chatting to a group of nobles, he seems perfectly at ease. He catches your eye knowingly and raises his glass. If Kieran can fake a smile and carry on with the Sun Court all night, then so can I. It's more important now than ever for us to make friends. At least Kieran's ravens are behaving themselves. They certainly don't forgive their grudges so easily. As if on cue, there's a flutter of wings in your ear and a pair of tiny talons on your shoulder. Oh, Leaf, hello. Are you enjoying the party?
It's fine.
The king of birds makes a small noise of consternation and gazes around the lavish festivities, supremely unimpressed.
This is what the Raven Prince calls a party? No bugs at the banquet, you run out already. You leave hungry guests, you starve guests of honor.
She shakes out her feathers with distaste, and you struggle to keep a straight face, lest you invoke her tiny wrath. Quite right, this is unacceptable. I shall speak with the servants forthwith to remedy this grave error. Leaf gives you a haughty glance and a decisive nod.
Good. Proper servants, hard to find, must be strict, you learn. Now, you're royal too.
Gives your earlobe an affectionate parting nibble and flies off. You brace yourself as you move on to the next group of Sun Court Fae, their flawless features and powerful magic no less terrifying than when you first stumbled into their forest revel. Good evening. How are... One of the Fae snaps her fingers in your face impatiently. Fetch me another drink. You blink, struggling to maintain composure. Perhaps, if you asked one of the servants. You plaster a serene smile on your face as you watch confusion fill the eyes of the Fae around you. I'm quite certain one of them will be happy to fetch a pitcher for you. You brace yourself, for the Fae take offense to perceived slights easily, often with grave consequences, but then another Fae hisses to her friend. That's not a servant. She's the Moon Court's royal consort. Her? I thought that was just a silly rumor. No, her grace is a delight. Just wonderfully peculiar. Your temper flares as they gawk and speak of you as if you're a piece of furniture. You open your mouth to give them a piece of your mind. I believe an apology is in order. Kieran's arm encircles your waist as he comes up behind you, his tones cool, utterly confident, and unmistakably in order. My lady is owed more respect than that, especially as you drink and dine on our hospitality, wouldn't you agree? Kieran idly fingers the crescent charm dangling low on your chain. The Fae's eyes dart to the motion, the show of possession obvious. Of course, I meant no offense, Your Grace. My mistake, surely. Wide-eyed, the Fae hastily bow and curtsy and then scatter. Kieran makes a sound of dismay and hands you an elegant wine glass. Tell me the entire night has not gone that badly. They're usually smart enough to not too overt about it, or not be so overt about it, but they certainly don't see me as their equal, even when they pretend otherwise. And why would they? They all have power, magic at their fingertips, but I'm a mortal who once scrubbed your floors. Sighing, Kieran turns to you in his arms and lifts your chin to look at him. I know it's difficult, but I have every faith you will win them over the same way you won me. Your tenacious warm-heartedness. Your unflagging, foolhardy, and admirably confidence in the face of impossible odds. So, the two things that, about me that annoyed you most? Precisely. In the meantime, try not to let their poor manners get beneath your skin. They'll grow used to you in time. If they don't, can we turn them into mice? They certainly scurried off like frightened little rodents. His mouth twists into amusement. An excellent idea. You're learning to think like Fae nobility. In the meantime, I have another idea for how to cheer you up. His smile is positively wolfish, making you flush with something more than summer warmth. Is that so? Oh. Mischief flares in his eyes, and your chain alights with the same flickering chill as before, setting your nerves afire. I see you're taking full advantage. And why wouldn't I? His eyes dark with promise, he brings your knuckles to his lips, his breath soft against your skin. Escape from this party with me. Let me take your mind off these unpleasant people before we must endure their company again. They're the whole reason we threw the silly party. We can't just leave them. You don't belong to them, you belong to me. His gaze hardens, his voice dangerously quiet, sending a familiar thrill straight through you. And I would have you. Now. Diamond Joy's pretty much. You can take me right now. By the way, we have to be careful about how far we push this, because YouTube. Come with me. Kieran takes your hand and draws you deep into the wild gardens that surround the Moon Palace, his steps swift and sure. Kieran, where are we? I have no patience to spirit you upstairs. The gardens are beautiful at night and secluded. You stumble down the worn stone path as Kieran tugs you behind him. The air's rich with perfume of pale gardenia and shimmering moonflowers. The party is just barely out of sight when Kieran stops, whirling you around and shoving your back against a tree, his dark eyes glimmering and hungry. But nothing is as beautiful beneath the moonlight as you. His mouth is on your throat, blazing a savage trail of teeth and tongue. You stifle a moan, trying to keep hold of your senses. Someone might hear. Best you make no sound, then. I can be quiet if you make me. His hand clamps over your mouth, pinning your head against the tree trunk, his eyes glinting with satisfaction. I'll help you. Keep quiet like a good pet, shall I? His unyielding palm muffles your yelps as his free hand roughly shoves beneath your clothing. He nudges his knee between your thighs, parting them, as his touch dips below your clothes and strokes your needy, desperate flesh. He surrounds you, anchors you, drowning every sense with power and pleasure, and you readily submit to both. Your stifled moans grow more and more desperate as he stokes the fire of need between your thighs, working you with frustratingly confined movements. I no longer think you have any need of these. He steps back, stripping you bare until you're clothed in nothing but starlight and shadow, and the warm summer breeze kisses your skin. I'm surprised you didn't magic them away this time. I could if you prefer to return to the party just as you are. I would be only too happy to parade you about as my most precious jewel. Lips parted and panting, his firm hand curls around the nape of your neck. His eyes are fiery embers, heavy with dark appetite, fully intent on consuming you. Kneel. No. The words are barely left your lips before his fist twists into your hair, sending your scalp alight with a sharp ache as he forces your knees down into the soft earth. Without letting go, he strokes your temple with his thumb as he gazes downward, somehow both menacing and affectionate at once. That's better. I do revel in the sight of you on your knees. The husky caress of his whisper is all you can hear above the pounding of your heart. Have you forgotten what happens when you defy me? Something in you covets this, to provoke and challenge, to call forth Kieran's darkness. You've long since given up questioning it. Perhaps you must remind me, my lord. Touch me. On his order, your fingers work to loosen the ties of his trousers, bearing him to you. Yep, that's where we have to cut off. Basically, I'm sure you know what happened. Anyway, what else is new? It's a long moment before either of you speak, listening to the distant party, or music of the party, mingle with the chirps of insects. Ella, since the return of my heart, every sense, emotion has felt brilliant and dizzying. But no pleasure compares to having my way with you beneath a star-studded sky. Flatterer. He draws your face towards his, foreheads touching, eyes soft and sated. I could devour you every night for 1,000 years and it would never be enough. Your heart twists as it beats in sync with his. You deserve every happiness after you suffered. After the suffering you've endured. He molds your body to his, your limbs pleasantly spent and languid. But you are still beastly. He laughs breathlessly. He leans atop you to nip at your shoulder. Tame me, then. Never. Arm in arm with Kieran, you mingle and stroll amongst the guests as he makes introductions. Each beautiful face seems to blend with the next, and soon your smile starts to wobble. Pleasure to meet you. Prince Kieran, is it true that you were cursed to the Heartless for a century? No wonder the Sun Palace was rife with whispers about your unpleasant reputation. A reputation I look forward to regaining now that I am whole again. Do enjoy your evening. As Kieran leads you away from the puzzled faces of the Fae, you speak through your teeth, patience waning. Kieran, how have you put up with this nonsense for 100 years? By being taciturn and generally unpleasant company, so as to be left alone. So basically he's like me. Unfortunately, we don't have a luxury at the moment. Suddenly his gaze darts behind you and his face lights up with an almost boyish delight. It cannot be. They actually came. Kieran beckons over a tall, impeccably dressed Fae and returns their crisp, formal bow. Allow me to introduce you to a dear old friend. This is Oleander, formerly of the Sun Court. I hope to sway them into rejoining polite society as part of our court. Taken aback by Oleander's haughty silence and Kieran's unusually warm introduction, you make an effort to be enthusiastic. I'm delighted to meet anyone Kieran calls friend. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure that's ever happened before. You elbow him teasingly, and Kieran rolls his eyes. Wow, you are fun at parties. Oleander's sharp, assessing eyes take you in from head to toe, and they don't look impressed. I'm beginning to see why these two are friends. Wordlessly, Oleander reaches out and plucks something from your hair. A leaf. Well, however did that get there? From earlier, I'm sure. Their face is unreadable as they hold the misplaced piece of foliage aloft as if for inspection. Oh, that's, flush. As Oleander raises one perfect eyebrow while Kieran struggles not to laugh. Such things simply happen when your palace is covered in leafy vines. You flounder in the uncomfortable silence under their withering stare until they finally turn to address Kieran. Are you actively trying to ruin what little reputation we both have left? Really, it's as though you enjoy making things hard for yourself. Have you met Kieran? For a prince, I've never known him to do anything the easy way. Oleander's brow arches with a surprise, and then a reluctant smile twists at their mouth. Your consort appears to know their fault, always, as well as I, Kieran. Kieran needs someone around who is unafraid to challenge him, lest he become even more insufferable. Kieran smirks at you, apparently enjoying both this exchange and Oleander's aghast expression. For a mortal, this Ella of yours is quite outspoken. For a Fae, you're quite blunt. Their gaze sweeps over you with a renewed interest. Their cool assessment of you seems to soften slightly. That was not meant as an insult. To be Kieran's side, one must be stalwart enough to weather any storm. It requires a strong hand to steer him. Oleander, I was half-feral beast when Ella met me. You won't scare her away now. It's a rare for a mortal who wouldn't run the first chance they had. I dare say, Kieran. A troubled expression suddenly wrinkles Kieran's brow. He holds up a hand for quiet, staring in the direction of the forest. What is it? The woods have gone silent. A chorus of screams shatters the night as a dark blade hews through the palace wall, trailing flames. Get behind me. Kieran is on you in an instant, shielding you with his body just before some terrible force blasts the wall inward like a deafening thunder. Okay, who the f are you? Also, if I might add, why is it so terribly, colored? Like, the character itself? It's weird. It's really weird. The party guests panic as chunks of stone pelt the ground like hail. Kieran's magic flares into a shield, protecting you and Oleander from harm. What is... Over Kieran's shoulder, you see a lone figure in the smoking gap of the wall, veiled in shadow. Kieran's eyes narrow with murderous fury as he turns to face the intruder. You dare to attack my home, my guests. Who are you other than a dead man? The figure steps into the shaft of a bright moonlit to reveal a face you've never seen. He raises his dark, brutal blade and points it directly at Kieran. I am your end. Interesting. Choices taking their time, like always. Alright, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description of the video, plenty to check out there, ways to support the channel, and whatnot. With that being said, let me know how you felt about this book returning. Is it a good thing? Are you surprised? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you not? Are you impartial? How about that? Me, it's okay. For me, the only problem that I have, is the following. So he makes you a necklace, and he, it's supposed to be really strong metal, right? So, what better way to show it off than to yank you as hard as possible, digging into your skin, and for me, it's just a bit weird. It's just a bit weird. It has nothing to do with, the kind of tone we're going for, especially versus, other books that we've dealt with the same tone. There is a certain finesse to it. And I just feel like the writers are taking, I get it, the little warning that it's a little bit beyond real life, safe BS. It's just, you know, I don't know. I just don't ever think that the tone of it would ever go to harm. Like, literally making the chain dig into your neck. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I get it. It's supposed to be, he's a fae, but you're also forgetting that we are human and we still have limitations. And the more you do, it's going to disassociate your audience, your person playing this, from realism of it, and then to also display something that is very uncharacteristically bad for the tone, that is the B, and we'll just skip the rest, and M. Pretty much that doesn't set a good like landmark point here, right? There's pain and pleasure, and you kind of, with the chain thing alone, kind of surpassed it to me, right? That's kind of like a no-no in our field. Like, I get it, there's extremes, but those extremes, we're not going to get into it, but they don't go as far as that. Like, just, hey, let me take this chain and yank it. I had this discussion last night, actually, with my stream and my viewers about it, because I had initially done this, which I do apologize about being late, and getting this out, but unfortunately we had some audio issues, but I had already priorly done it, so I had to redo it again. And I literally, off the top of my head, pretty much just winged it and made a better scene than what was displayed here. That would have actually gave into the tone that we had. And people actually really enjoyed that more so than, hey, let me yank this chain really hard and show you who's in charge and show you how strong the chain is. Like, it's a bit weird that, hey, this chain is so strong, I'm gonna hurt you with it. Like, it's just, anyone else agree with me on that? Let me know. Again, there's a strong hand, and then there's, the ever gentle strong hand. And then there's just bad writing. So, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.